So now let's implement the example of LiveLock. So we'll create a new class, bank account, LiveLock. And in this class, we'll be implementing locks using lock, using interface lock. So before we use the synchronized lock on the object, like from object and to object, in this case, we'll be implementing the locks using lock. Using lock interface, and the implementation which we'll be using is the reentrant lock. We'll discuss about lock and reentrant lock in the future section, but just from the implementation side, we'll be implementing this with lock, and then we'll be trying to get the lock on the object using try lock. Try lock is a method which does not wait for the lock. If it is unable to get the lock on the object, then it will just return. So bank account has two fields, private, double, and balance, and private, integer, ID. And lock is equal to new reentrant lock. Now let's create two methods. Let's first create the constructor, public bank account, and here integer, ID, and double, balance. And we are initializing the fields. Now let's create the withdraw method. Public void withdraw and double amount. And in this case, we will first try to get the lock on the lock object. So this dot lock dot try lock. So in try lock, what try lock does is that if it is able to get the lock on the object, is well and good. If it's unable to get the lock on the object, it will just return. So when we use a synchronize, it will constantly wait on the object to get the lock. In this case, this lock.try lock will just return if it's unable to get the lock. So first time, let's mimic the behavior of this thread by sleeping. And here balance, because it's withdraw, so balance minus is equal to balance. And in this case, we'll be returning, because we are implementing a LiveLock example. In this case, we need to know whether this method is successful or not. So let's make this Boolean. So if this is successful, then return true. Otherwise, return false. Complaining about sleep, so add exception to method signature. Now let's implement the deposit. So deposit is also double amount, and we will get the lock using try lock, and again thread.sleep 1 second, and balance plus equal to balance, or plus equal to amount. And we need to correct it over here also. And if it is successful, then return true. If it is unsuccessful, if it's unable to get the lock, then return false. And now we'll be creating a behavior, which is the transfer behavior, transferring the amount from one account to this account, or transferring the amount from this account to different account. So in this case, public boolean transfer bank account LiveLock. So in this case, we are transferring from the other account to this account. So we just have from here, from, and bank account LiveLock to, and double the amount, double amount. So if from dot withdraw, so if it returns true, then print out withdrawing amount from ID. Now deposit, to.deposit amount, then print out depositing amount to ID. And if it's able to withdraw and deposit, then return true. Otherwise return false. False. Complaining about the unhandled exception, so let exception to method signature. Now let's implement the public static void main method. We can create the public static void main, so let's create it. And inside the public static void main method, we'll be creating instance of two bank account LiveLock, student bank account is equal to new bank account LiveLock, and the account ID is 1, and let's say balance is $50,000. And the second bank account live university bank account is equal to new bank account LiveLock, ID is 2, and balance is, let's say university has a balance of 100,000. Now let's create two threads. So new thread, dot start, and another thread, dot start. So in this case, what we'll be doing is that because we are using the try lock, so it will just immediately return. So we will be going in a loop here. So while not of student bank account dot transfer, and this is student bank account and university bank account, and then amount is $3,000. If it's unable to do that, then continue. So keep on trying the transfer. Surround with try and catch. Now here we have same while not of university bank account dot transfer and university bank account and student bank account, and then $1,000. Continue. And let's implement the try catch, surround with try catch. Now let's look into if we have done the implementation correctly. There is one thing which we have missed here, is that if to.deposit, then what we need to do is that we need to put an else here, because if it is unable to complete the deposit, then deposit the money back to the first account, because we already have withdraw from here. So in this case, we'll be depositing money back to the first account. So implement the from dot and let's print out refunding amount plus amount to account and from dot id. Now let's run this example. Now let's run this example. So you can see that it is withdrawing the money and then also depositing the money back to the account. So let's click over here to scroll to end and go back to the top. So withdrawing 300 from account 1, withdrawing $1,000, $3,000 from account 1, withdrawing $1,000 from account 2, refunding $1,000 to account 2, refunding amount $3,000 to account 1, and again withdrawing and then refunding. So here in this example, we are constantly, the threads are constantly trying to deposit and transfer the amount, but if they are unable to do it, then they are doing things like refunding and then withdrawing the process again, but they are in the deadlock situation. So this is an example of LiveLock.